I remember I yelled at one of my clients one time and I was like, get your together. And he fired me because I was mean. He thought I was mean. And he would think an athlete that would be like, oh, my coach is mad at me. I need to recheck myself and get my together. Whereas a person that's never experienced that, they crumble and they think that you're being mean to them.
Yeah.
Well,
They take it as a personal attack rather than this person, I'm trying to better you and push you to be better.
Welcome to the AAA Mindset, the podcast where adversity isn't a setback. It's the setup. If life has challenged you and stepped on your confidence and forced you to pivot, you're in the right place. Here, we train the mind to face obstacles head on and turn them into fuel for growth, resilience, and success.
Well, hello, you guys. We are here with the AAA Mindset on episode 18. Oh my gosh, we're going to be at 100 before we know it. We are crushing it.
Crazy.
I know.
Man.
It's been so much fun. But today we are going to talk about, being an athlete and how that helps you in being successful. And one thing that I've noticed, and not all the time, not every time, but a lot of the time, the most successful people that you see, there's one thing they have in common, and that is athletics, right? They played sports and they were in a team environment and they learned to be coachable. And all those are all characteristics that you must have for success. And so today, let's dive into how has athletics helped us personally, but what do we see for people who, were athletes and how that's helped them in their career as well?
Yeah.
100%.
What are some athletes that come to mind where you think about, let's actually name some people that are super successful entrepreneurs now?
John Elway.
I know one.
Michael Jordan.
Okay.
Well, why was there crickets?
I like that.
Is that not good?
No, that's good. But I was thinking, I can't think of his name.
You can't
He's
think
on
of his
Shark
name.
Tank. What's his name?
oh,
A-Rod.
Yes.
A-Rod.
Aaron Rodriguez. Is that right?
Aaron
Rodriguez? Yeah.
No, it's not Aaron Rodriguez. It's Alex Rodriguez.
Oh, Alex.
Thanks, guys.
Aaron, Alex, whatever. Tomato.
I'm a fan.
Good. She's a huge fan.
Yeah. We love you, A-Rod.
Yeah, know all about
Follow
you.
the AAA
Find us your
Mindset.
name. Know everything about you.
I said John Elway, Peyton Manning.
Peyton Manning. Yes.
Love him. Tom Brady.
Tom Brady is a huge entrepreneur. I mean, so many athletes, that's just kind of the MO too, is that you're a professional athlete.
They're also
retired.
successful because they have a fuck ton of money.
Exactly.
So
they
that's
invest
true.
their money.
There's that minor detail.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing though. But let's go into it a little bit here. Okay. So
I think it's more of the mindset rather than
why? That's what I was
Yes.
gonna say.
Why?
Why do most successful entrepreneurs, executives, and leaders have that one thing in common? They were athletes because sports teaches skills that success requires.
Yep.
because
What
sports
does it teach?
because it teaches consistency. It teaches that you have to be competitive. It teaches you have to do that most people aren't willing to do. I mean, all that stuff translates right into business.
100%.
It's the same thing. Like I tell people with bodybuilding, it's the same thing. Getting in shape, getting wealthy, same thing. You just got to stack consistent days over and over and over and let those compound. And over time, you'll be pretty happy with the results.
Well, if you think about it though, yes, it does. Does it help that, A-Rod, John Elway, any of those people have an insane amount of money that yes, they can invest in a business and run it and all those
that
things.
helps a lot.
It does help. However, how did they get there? It was because as a young child, they learned how to work incredibly hard,
Correct.
how to be disciplined.
Exactly.
And that translated into the ability to have a lot of money to
Facts.
have the businesses. Because if they didn't have that work mentality when they were younger, all throughout high school, college, et cetera, they would not have gotten to a place to have that money.
That's
And
very
so
true.
I think, yes, that's a great thing. But I look at that almost like an influencer out there, right?
Right.
People are always like, oh,
How'd
she's
you-
successful because she's got 800,000 followers. And I'm like, yeah, but did you see the work that she put in to get
there.
that 800,000
Mhm.
followers, like the insane amount of
It's a matter
time?
respect.
And the same thing goes for athletes.
It is delayed gratification. I had a conversation with Sophia the other night. And for those of you who don't know, Sophia is our daughter,
Who's the cutest
who
thing ever.
is 4.5, about to be
Yes.
5. And
She's actually like four and
she's 4 and
Four and
a lot
4.8.
of change.
She's 4.8.
She's about to turn 5 this month,
She's like 4.9.
4.9.
which is crazy. I'm like, I can't believe we have a 5-year-old.
Mhm.
But
Right.
she's starting to ask
Try
a lot
20.
of those questions, and she's getting interested in things. And so some of the things, the other day she asked me, she's like, can I try basketball? Because I was like, what do you want to do? What sports do you want to do? Or what activities? And she's like, can I do basketball? And then she later said, but mom, I'm not going to be any good at shooting the basket. And I was like, of course you're not.
No.
Because you've never done it before. And that lays those bricks, those foundations for
Mhm.
teaching your kids, hey, you're not going to be good at this unless you have a bazillion reps at
Yep.
it, right? That's how you became really good at baseball.
Mm-hmm.
I used to sit downstairs and take ground balls till I couldn't breathe.
Yep.
Literally.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it starts as a young child. And so I do think, I mean, I look at a lot of, for instance, medical sales companies. My husband was in medical sales for many, many, many years. And one of the things that those companies look for on resumes is primarily, were you an athlete? Because they know,
cool.
because they know that they've got the, the commitment, they've got the drive, they've got the work ethic to be able to go out there and obviously be a great salesperson. So,
yeah. And I think just like there's a mental toughness aspect, as far as what I do with bodybuilding, the guys that I prep that have been athletes at high levels, they can withstand more quote unquote suffering. They can dig deeper. They've been to those uncomfortable places mentally before. So their brain automatically remembers that and allows them to go deeper into their preps and push harder.
Well, I think that's that next point, which is big, is that people who were previous athletes before, they are a lot of them are successful because they were coached before.
Correct.
And most people think that coaching is somebody telling you what to do, but it actually creates number one, humility. Like you're going to be humbled real fast by your coach. If your coach is good, right? They're going to humble you real fast. Learning how to receive and take criticism, accountability, trusting them, and following and executing a plan.
I would say my Little League baseball coach is probably the reason why I am today. Honestly, I mean, he was the biggest hard ass on
John
the planet.
Stevens.
I mean, the guy probably would have gone to jail if he was coaching kids today. It's true.
Paint us a picture of that.
Yeah.
I mean, we would be 10 years old, running hills, him screaming at us, keep going. Our parents are all hanging out in the parking lot, drinking beers, and they're just watching us, run till we literally puked.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, we would be in the gym running suicides. He'd be drilling ground balls out the gym floor. I mean, we're 10 years old. He treated us like we were like college athletes.
Which why you were good.
And it prepared us so much more than like an average kid our age. And that's also why our baseball team was.
I was going to say, you guys were actually very, very good.
For sure.
But, that's exactly what it takes. And a lot of times parents, here's the problem these days, is that parents see coaches like that. And they're like, rather than being like, yeah, I want you to be the best, I'm glad a coach is being hard on you, they now are mad because the coach is being too hard on them.
Correct.
And we are actually creating
pussies.
Yeah, I was going to say it, but I'm not going to say it, but I do believe it and I see it all the time. For instance, even in cheerleading, my daughter's an all-star cheerleader, high school, 4-year varsity high school cheerleader. And for me, I have the mentality of good, be hard on them. If they want to be the best, be hard on them. If they're doing something wrong, good, go make them run till they puke.
100%.
Please do. Because I want her to have that mentality of like, it's not going to come easy and hard work pays off. And she does. She has that mentality. My son, same thing with baseball, has that same mentality. He has puked from his college coaches. And
I'm sure.
I think it's great.
For sure.
But the problem is that these parents, and I see it all the time, get with the other parents. And they're like, oh my God, this person was too hard on this person. And then this whole debacle happens where now they're attacking the coaches, right? And saying the coach is bad because they're being too hard on the kids. But then the parents are mad that they're not winning.
Right.
Make it make sense.
Yeah.
And parents, here's what I'm going to say. Butt out of your kids' sports and let the coaches coach.
Yep.
Yeah.
Period. The end.
And coaches need to have those tough conversations. They need to be able to push you, but you can't do that when you have a parent down your throat all the time. Like it makes it so difficult.
I mean, and that's one thing I've noticed, like with guys again, that like didn't play sports, is like when you get on them, like I remember I yelled at one of my clients one time and I was like, get your together. And he fired me because I was mean. Mm-hmm. He thought I was mean. And it was really just, you were just being a lazy ass and just giving poor effort. And I was just getting on your ass about it. And you would think like an athlete that would be like, oh, my coach is mad at me. I need to recheck myself and get my together. Whereas a person that's never experienced that, they crumble and they think that you're being mean to them.
Yeah.
Well,
like they take it as a personal attack rather than this person, I'm trying to better you and push you to be better.
100%.
Exactly. Well, but think about it. Like he thought you were being mean. Imagine being on the stage and what the judges are going to say about you because you're not ready.
The judges don't give a about how you feel. They don't care how hard you worked. They don't give a
Yep.
All they care about is, do you look better than the dude next to you?
Yep.
This is a great segue to talk about how I think a lot of it is it's difficult for successful adults to surrender control. Mm-hmm. And so that client that you had that you're like, get your together. He's like, well, I thought I was in control of my situation and I don't want to face like my reality of what I'm actually doing. And having somebody else tell you that is like, whoa.
Well, I think I'd rather have my coach tell me that than the judges.
Right. Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think being an athlete is one of the most important things in life. And so,
and starting early, I think that's a huge thing. Like with my kids, like I can't, Bo's 2 years old, he's still his pants. I'm trying to get him out on the baseball field.
Right. Yeah. Well, and we've always had the mentality with our kids too. And again, a lot of parents will say, it's the coach's fault or the gym's fault or the baseball coach's fault or the team organization's fault. And at the end of the day, if your kid is not playing or your kid is not in the position that you want them in and cheer or whatever it may be, look at it and look at where your kid can work harder and stop blaming everybody else besides the fact that your kid needs to work harder in those areas to have the position that they're looking for.
Because here's the real talk. Okay, if your kid was dope, he'd play.
Period.
Your kid's not dope.
Well, they got to learn. That's the thing. They got to learn.
But as a parent, if you're sitting there crying about your kid not playing, it's because your kid's not good enough.
Yep.
I can assure you, if your kid was a badass stud, he would be playing.
Yes.
The coach would love to have him out there.
Promise you.
Guaranteed.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah. If your child is amazing cheerleader and you want her to be a flyer, if she is good enough, she gonna be the flyer.
That's it.
Right?
Straight
but if she's not, she's gonna be on the mat, which hear me out. My daughter's a bass. Basses are amazing too. I'm not saying that by any means, but that's just the world you live in. And we have an experience actually with baseball last year. My husband coaches assistant coach for our high school baseball team. And there was a few parents, we will remain nameless, that got mad because their kids were not playing how much they thought they should be playing. And they made up a fake email address and created an email talking about that the coaches were horrible, the kids were crying. I mean, I could go on and on. Sent it out to the news stations, the newspaper, every single coach in Colorado, claiming how horrible the coaches were because they wanted to get them fired because their two kids were not playing. Yeah, it was disgusting.
Whoa.
Disgusting.
That is extreme.
Did you find out who it was?
Of course we know who it was. I would love to put the names out here, but I won't do that.
Oh my gosh.
Well, if you're listening to this and you did that, you're an
You know what I think of too, though, like in certain situations,
Amen.
Like, okay, so when Kaylin DeBoer, how do you say his name?
Kaylin DeBoer.
DeBoer, thank you.
Season 3, we're still working on the name.
First started coaching Alabama.
Roll Tide.
Remember they were like, there was all that press about how the team was like staying out late and drinking and all that stuff. And then he got in there and was like, get your together. And then they started like picking up those games fast too.
Hard ass coaches, like but you have to respect them. Like there can be, like I had a coach in junior college and like he was a hard ass, but he was a dick. There's a difference.
There's a difference. Well, I look at Taylor's coaches, at where he goes to college and they're hard ass. I mean, they are hard ass, but yet they still know that they love them.
Right.
They still know that they care about them.
It's like he'd rip your but deep down, like he loved you.
He loves you. They love you. And, one time there was about a month span where the coaches were just complete. I don't even think the boys did think that they loved them at that point, but they were losing. And all of a sudden the boys got it together. They start winning. The coaches are so much better. And I'm like, here's the thing. They knew you guys were not playing to your level. They knew that you were not exceeding what you could be doing. So they were trying to beat you down to make you rise up. Right. And guess what happened?
And then you got drunk together and it all worked out.
They actually did. Yes, they did. It was beautiful.
I love that.
I know. It was great.
Okay. So let's go back more. Like being an athlete is a life hack for sure. But what are some of those lessons in life that transfer into like business of being an athlete?
I think just knowing that if you want to get to where you want to go, it's going to take hard work. I think that's for me, knowing that it's not going to come easy for you. You look at, let's say Tom Brady, for instance, he didn't decide like his 8th grade year in middle school to be like, hey, I want to go be like a major quarterback. He started from day one, like when he was a child working his butt off. And so I think that would be for me is that it's going to take hard work and years of hard work before you get there.
Have some patience.
Okay, identity. Athletes don't ask, do I feel like it? They ask, what does today's training require?
Oh my gosh, can I have that one?
Successful people approach life similarly.
100%.
So let's talk about that.
I mean, as a bodybuilding coach, I have to ask people to do things that are very uncomfortable. And so many people, like they get in their feelings, they get in their emotions, and they're not just doing what it takes. They're doing what their emotions tell them they should be doing. Mm-hmm. And they're getting in their feelings and they're thinking with their emotions rather than what do I need to do to accomplish this goal? Mm-hmm. Like I have many clients that are on it, and I have clients that get in their head and they're constantly questioning things. And those clients, it always results in a bad outcome. The people that shut their mouths, do the work, put their head down and listen.
I don't see how that is a hard concept for people. And like,
it is so
I always
challenging.
With my mind, like I have this goal. I really want to get to the Masters Olympia next year and I want to succeed there. And I want that's my biggest goal. And so every time I get into that weight room, I'm like, what is going to require me to get there? Mm-hmm. Like, and I just lock in. I don't understand how this is hard for people.
It's
Maybe the goals aren't clear. I don't know.
I mean, I think in our world of bodybuilding, it's difficult and it is very mentally taxing and physically exhausting. So I think people start feeling that discomfort and they immediately want to back out.
Yeah.
They put their toe in the water and they're like, nope,
never mind.
that's a little too much for me.
I think it's a world of instant gratification too. People want instant gratification, and that's not the reality.
Right.
And at some point, I hope it clicks with people that that's not the reality. Like, no one got it overnight unless you won the lottery.
I mean, you can blame Instagram for that.
100%.
And like, we're all guilty. We do the same. Like, we're only posting our wins and all the good things. You're not posting like, oh, sucked today.
Yeah.
So people only see that. So I think people measure, like all these people are just successful all the time and I suck.
Yes.
Yeah.
But what they didn't see is you in 2012 getting started. And now what is it, 2026? What year were you when you got started? When did you start?
2014.
2014. I'm 2012. Like, this is not an overnight success. And, you're not where you want to be. You're not where you want to be. I'm not where I want to be.
Yeah. I mean, as far as my business, I mean, I started with like 3 clients.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
and living in my parents' basement.
Yeah. In terms of training, I started, like training clients officially probably like 2009 maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I sucked at it. I was like not very good, and I kind of jumped through the hoops a little bit and learned these traits and learned these different skill sets, and then eventually like started figuring out that I was pretty good at it and just kept going, and then it just built. But nobody sees those layers underneath, and nobody knows the backstory.
Yep.
And that's where like people, again, like you said, there's that instant gratification of like, oh well, they have X amount of followers or whatever, and that's sad that that's translated towards credibility. But I feel like going back to with sports and being an athlete, does everyone need sports, or can adults develop these traits later in life?
Everyone needs sports.
I think you can develop it. I think
I'm kind of joking.
I've seen very successful people who were not an athlete, but they still have that hard work mentality, right? Like, just because you couldn't shoot a basket, throw a football, or cheer, or whatever, sport you do, hit a baseball, doesn't mean that you can't be successful in life. No. But you do have to have the mentality of an athlete.
But I think that athletics establishes that early on.
Yes.
Whereas if you didn't do that, like, what are you going to do in your life that like is going to establish that? I don't know.
Right.
Maybe there's other out there. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, and I think
old chess club.
Listen, I don't know how to play chess, so maybe I don't know. I don't know.
I was more of a football guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anything that you're maybe being mentored for, I would say.
Are you being coachable?
Coached about? Yeah.
That's the thing. That's my biggest thing with my athletes. Like, is if you're not a coachable person, seriously, like, don't hire me.
Yeah.
Because honestly, I'm going to hate you.
Right.
Like, I seriously have had clients before, like, this might sound aggressive, but like, I seriously like wanted to fist fight them when I was done with them.
Right.
Because they were such a pain in my
Yes. And you're like, I'm done. Well, I think about it, going back to that instant gratification thing, a lot of people want the success. They want to be, so they decide today that they want to be a trainer. Well, now they instantly want to be where Adam and Anastasia are as trainers, right?
Yeah.
But here's the thing. They've had since 2012, 2014 to 2026 to become the trainers that they are today. If you both started in 2012 and suddenly had the clientele that you have now and all of those things, you would not be ready. You couldn't train people at the level that they needed to be trained year one because you didn't know how to do it that well.
But the bodybuilding industry is king of, I've done one show.
Oh, gosh.
Now I'm going to be a coach. It's mind-blowing.
It's mind-blowing.
It's absolutely mind-blowing. And then you have, million coaches that are charging $5 a month. And these people, when you go inquire with them, you hear that price. And then you go inquire with 2 pro bodybuilders and you hear our price and it's not $5. And oh, well, that's just too much for me.
You get what you pay for.
Well, then you go on stage and you look like a saggy bag of and you get what you pay for.
This is a hot topic.
You get what you pay for.
This is a hot one for me.
Well, no, because we see it all the time. I mean,
I see it every day.
I see it in what I do. And my industry is all about growing in leadership. Leadership is like the main thing in it in order to be able to work with people, because people are the most difficult things to work with. Oh, yeah. But people want it right away. And I'm like, okay, you just got started. Yeah. You couldn't handle what I do on a daily basis. You would literally,
you don't want to do it.
You would lose your mind.
Right.
But, and you also learn how to work with people, talk with people, and direct people. And that's all through the process. And so if you're not willing to go through the process, it's going to be really hard to get where you want to go.
Yeah, you do the same thing. I mean, you've been doing this for how long? And then people will sign up with my sister and they're like, oh, well, I'm not making, multiple 6 figures like your sister does. Well, you also you haven't worked every day relentlessly at this for like over what? How long have you been doing this?
14 years. 14 years.
Yeah. I mean, it's like we're skipping that minor detail.
Yeah, the little bit. And that doesn't mean, and here's the thing, I will say, nowadays it's probably easier to go a little faster because of technology, AI, all the things that we have now.
Mm-hmm.
In my day, it was like pick up the phone and call somebody
For
15
sure.
years
Which was
ago.
actually nice as a coach because it made my life way easier.
It was actually really nice. You had more like one-on-one conversations with people. But
and now everybody wants to, I'll just go ask ChatGPT.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. But, I mean, not to say it's going to take you 14, 15 years, but nonetheless, it's not going to take you 6 months to a year to get probably to that level.
Right.
Yeah. And I think that the biggest hack isn't necessarily athleticism. We're not talking about that. It's learning to become someone who can repeatedly do difficult things and then stick with it.
And not quit.
And that's the message for today.
And realize that you're not going to start here.
Yeah.
No. You're not.
Thanks for this episode. This was a good one. If you have any comments below about this, or you disagree with us strongly, or you liked it, share it with your friends.
Yeah.
We'll see you next one.
Bye.